What's up, YouTube? We're back in the wood shop. We are back in the wood shop for a little more fun working on the Corvette. It's a love-hate relationship. Every time I see it, I kind of fall more in love with the filthy old beat-up thing, but every time I work on it, I feel like filling it up with concrete and pushing it into a river somewhere. But today we are going to do some epoxy work, different than the fiberglass. I made up a bonding strip, so we are gonna try to clean the area that will be attached to. It is not going to be easy nor fun. A little hard work, a little bit of creativity. I think we're gonna be just fine. All right, so here it is. Again, that's not orange paint. That is see-through fiberglass. My patch all nicely patched up. The glass came out very nice there. Maybe a few little air bubbles here and there, but pretty good, I think. This is the repair that we are going to start figuring out. This piece right here is the front of the wheel well. So it comes up into here. This piece of fiberglass is what I made up to use as a bonding strip that will go on the inside right about here after I clean it all up. And we'll be able to fiberglass on top of that. After I get this glued in back there, right underneath the existing bonding strip, which is right here, I will use a 2-part epoxy to glue that in, the West system. And then that will give us a surface to start really chasing some of this fiberglass that I don't believe is very good. All that's up in the bonding strip. There's the top line of the bonding strip right there. Here's my little pointing stick. This is where the hole is. This right here is the bonding strip from the factory, supporting the joint that runs through here that they glue. I want to put the new bonding strip right around here, covering this entire hole. So what I think I'm going to do, this is like factory adhesive, I believe. I'm gonna try to start chipping this out. I want to clean all this up anyway. You can see the adhesive is broken free from the, I think it's kind of like seam sealer, but maybe a little bit more aggressive. Major score. That piece of steel that comes through that hole into the front that was blocking us so badly, not really part of the frame. It's literally just a bumper bracket. So now I'm just gonna get dusty cleaning up this side. I'll clean up the bonding strip and we'll be able to get this in today, I think. That's awesome. So I have my bonding strip back there. That fits pretty nice. So I'm gonna screw this all together and mark it out and clean it with some acetone and epoxy. This is the epoxy we use, West System 207 hardener, 105 epoxy resin. Came with the mini pump set. The resin is the same for whatever, but then your hardeners have different pumps. The nice thing about this is it's one pump and one pump, so there's no real measuring or mixing. You do want to mix it up in a metal can, a coffee can, a soda can, something that won't melt, because this will get hot if my memory serves correctly. I've used it with complex wood glue ups because the open time can be a little longer than wood glue. It's not at the big box stores, but if you have a really good hardware store in your town, it may be there. All right, it came out really very good. So the only thing is there's a little, I wasn't able to get a actual butt joint glued here. So what I'm going to do, or what I have already done, is I've added some 1/4-inch chop mesh into the epoxy, the West System epoxy. And I'm just gonna kind of cram it in that very little gap right there. And we are back the next day. And this is the repair from the epoxy. There is the line of the bonding strip that I made. Factory bonding strip here, all the way through and up into, it's really cool. You can kind of see the top layer of glass. So there is still a lot of work to do. And from this point on, it will all be polyester resin fiberglass work. But what I would like to do is grind this flat. We have a real hard edge here. So we have to taper all this. All right, so like I said, we're gonna grind this out, but I realized I think it would be smart to make just a little form. We'll use the other fender. Just a little shape to see how much we've taken out from grinding and all of that. And we can kind of pop on here at a specific point. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure from this corner up to where the center of the repair is. I'll go to the other side, pull some measurements, and probably the same thing from this bumper, which will give me a line here, a line here, that will be the same on either side. All right, so I made this piece of aluminum and it worked pretty cool. So basically, like I said, I've got a mark here and I have a mark here that correspond to kind of right through the middle of the repair. So what I did is I just took my aluminum and put it on both marks. And as you can see, I got it to fit pretty well on this side. It's not perfect, but it will serve a purpose. And how I did that, I just put little lines where I had to bend. Like, for example, the fender starts to kind of really get radiused up top, but then we're radiused, as you can see, but so you just give kind of marks to let you know what you're doing. And apparently, when I bought this wood rack, I bought the wood rack that doubles as a Corvette pattern brake. I found this little square hole right here. So I had to file it down just a little bit so that this fit in. But what that enabled me to do was, using my marks, slide that in and get all my little radiuses. And it fits pretty good. So the real reason that we need this, I don't know if from the middle of this repair here up to here, this is a 1/4 inch low, a 1/16 low. I don't know, I have no idea. So all this little guy does, you can see the shape is a little funny from the other side. So I'm gonna grind this down. I'll keep checking and then we'll lay in some sheets. I just have a lot of sanding to do at this point and I'd like to get it into some type of 2K epoxy primer, a real super heavy coat of it soon. It's freezing outside. This lives outside. It's under a cover, but you know, I'd like to get this thing sealed up. But you know, there's going to be little repairs, epoxy repairs. That's underneath the bumper, but we're still gonna fix it. Okay, well, as always, thanks for watching. I'm glad a lot of you guys watched the first Corvette video. Really means a lot to us that you guys spend the time to watch what we do here. So thank you.